Hey guys, Sean McHalo bro here. So I wanted to just give you guys my latest thoughts on Halo because I don't know, man. Call it like a maybe like a Halo bro sixth sense, but something's just not right, man. I feel like Halo might be cooked. I really feel like wait, look, I know people don't like Doomium and they get upset about the Doomium, but look, man, I'm not on hopium and copium anymore about Halo franchise, so I feel like my mind is clear. And again, I get people don't like the Doomium, but look, this is like a hobby channel for me, and I'm going to do what I've always done. I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. All right? I'm always going to give you guys just my honest thoughts. That's why people keep coming back, right? And that's why I love making content for this channel. It's what I missed about this channel. That's why I'm so glad I restarted this channel because, I do a lot every day. I really do. All sorts of stuff, man. Like I've said in other videos, I'm just trying to get ahead like all of you guys. I don't have a ton of money. Like I'm just trying to get ahead. I'm trying to learn stocks and invest and just make more money like in general, but at the same time, all these things I'm thinking about, being a new dad, all this stuff, I can't not think about Halo. It's crazy. I can't not think about Halo, and so I've been thinking about Halo a lot lately. I've been thinking about the CE remake, and this is just how my mind works, and the conclusions I'm coming to, especially as I get more into investing, and kind of figuring out what makes companies like truly tick, and not only that, but like where the market is going right now, like what Microsoft's priorities are right now in the entire tech industry, what they're interested in right now, which is AI obviously. But I put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and I think Halo might be cooked, man. So look, we're gonna get information in October, okay? So Halo Studios is gonna show stuff off. So I want to, you want to say it's exciting, but I really, I don't know what I feel, because it's not excitement. I'm not excited because, what are the odds they're gonna show something that like blows us away and is not gonna be scuffed? Like it hasn't happened in such a long time with Halo. So I'm not excited. I guess I'm just intrigued. I'm just very intrigued. Like, what are you guys gonna show? I'm definitely intrigued, but there's no part of me that's like, oh man. Oh wow, maybe they'll show the CE remake and it will be like this like banger. It's gonna be like the best. The Halo will have a resurgence finally. Like I'm not on the hopium for that anymore. Halo's not gonna like I at this point I've totally given up on this like big resurgence of Halo. If you think there will be one, let me know in the comments why, because I don't know why you would expect Halo to come back. I feel like the best we can hope for is just something decent. Just something decent. That's as much I think as we can possibly hope for. But okay, let me introduce all the pieces of the puzzle here, and then we're gonna really nerd out on this, honestly. Like this is gonna be some extreme Halo nerdiness about Combat Evolved in particular. That'll make sense in a bit. All right, so we know we're gonna get a reveal in October. Okay. Next piece of the puzzle is that Microsoft, if you perhaps aren't aware, they just canceled like a ton of games. Like some games I was like really excited for, like Everwild. I know we didn't really see much of it, but I love Sea of Thieves. I think Sea of Thieves is one of the best games I've ever personally played. Like, it really is. Like, I'd put it probably in my top 25. Like, the memories I have from that game are just, like, unmatched. Like, I didn't even make content on the game. Like, I just enjoyed it with friends and my wife. Like, oh my god, it was incredibly fun. So, I was excited to see what Rare would do with Everwild. We don't know much about the game. It's canceled anyway, but the aesthetic looked really cool. Like, it looked like, I don't know, maybe Rare was going to make, like, their own Pokemon or something. Like, it looked like it was going to be awesome. But Microsoft killed that. They killed the Perfect Dark reboot. I won't lie, I don't care too much about that. And then they cut a lot of jobs and killed some other studios and games. Details aren't as important as the fact that Microsoft just killed all this stuff. So it's like, what's happening? And the too long didn't read is just... every tech company right now is just going all in on AI, essentially. If you didn't hear, there's some crazy stuff going on. For example, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, they hired some people from OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. They hired some of these people. They are paying some of these people. Are you ready? Are you ready for how much they're getting paid? They stole some talent away from ChatGPT, OpenAI. They're paying them $100 million. $100 million. Can you imagine $100 million? Some people were confused by this. They're like, oh my God, why are they paying them so much money? It's pretty simple. Sam Altman, who's in control of OpenAI, he's not going to sell the company. And so Mark Zuckerberg wants, if he could, he would just buy OpenAI. Okay, a lot of people would just buy OpenAI if they could. So since they can't buy OpenAI and ChatGPT, they're just buying off the town. So it's basically an acquisition by just paying people and just stealing them away. I'm just realizing, like, how many people are already like, where's the Halo? I don't know, man. If you can't follow this stuff, this is too complicated for you. I don't know what to tell you, man. The future is gonna be hard for you. I'm gonna be real. Like, if you have watched this far and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, man. You know, the future is not looking good for you. You gotta know what's going on. So everybody's all in on AI, and the reason they're all in on AI is because of the perceived return on investment that they're gonna get from AI. Now, not all AI companies are even like making money right now. A lot of them are just burning through cash and just living off investments, but that doesn't matter. AI is seen as one of the big gold rushes right now, the next big tech gold rush. And, you know, it probably will be. So these mega corporations like Microsoft, they just look at numbers. And that's one of the reasons that Xbox has suffered so much. That's why Halo has suffered, because Microsoft just looks at everything. It's just like numbers, like, oh, how much ROI are we going to get from this? ROI, if I didn't enunciate that clearly enough. And the problem with this approach to games is that ultimately games are, they're art. You know, they're fundamentally art. It's like it's a art product that you can sell and make a ton of money off of, but fundamentally it's art, it's creativity. And so it's not always as simple as just, you know, looking at numbers on a sheet. Generally speaking, art is not a great business. And that's why Microsoft is killing off these game studios and games, because they're just looking at it in terms of ROI. They're like, we could do another 100 million to finish off Perfect Dark, right? Or we can take that $100 million and put it into our AI, you know, investments and research and development. And that's it. That's how they're making the decisions. Like, there's no emotion involved, nothing like that. We have seen Microsoft continually, like, mishandle, like, major IPs. I mean, that's practically, what is that? One of the major things, biggest thing we've talked about on this channel is the mishandling of the Halo franchise by Microsoft. They just keep mishandling franchises. They just keep focusing just on the ROI, totally like emotionless robots. And now with them killing off all these other games, it's like, it's actually getting worse. Now, the reason this has me extremely worried about Halo is that, dude, Halo is not even close to being a top play game, okay, on Xbox anymore. Like, what is it now on the Xbox most played and on Steam, right? Like, people on Copium will be like, those numbers don't matter. The Steam chart does. Okay, bro, it matters. It matters a lot. I don't even think Halo, MCC, and Infinite, if you even combine them together, I don't even think, what, top 30? I don't even think top 30. Halo is not popping whatsoever. And so I think there's a serious risk that Halo could actually go extinct. I just think the odds of extinction are just like so high, dude. So this is like a two-part thing. So first of all, okay, my first worry is the conditions right now. This is not opinion. This is just fact. The fact is right now we are in an environment where Microsoft will kill off an entire game studio or an IP. They don't care. If the numbers stop working and they go, oh, we could just kill this and put the money into AI and just take the tax write-off, they will do it. They will do it if you get to that condition. And people will be like, oh, bro, but Halo's such a big IP, they would never kill it off. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Why would they not? They don't need Halo anymore, dude. They have the biggest franchises now. They bought Bethesda, right? They own Call of Duty now. You don't need Halo. And like I said before, Halo's not a top played game anymore. They kill Halo off. Yes, there would be a whole bunch of backlash, but it really wouldn't last that long. All the people that Xbox is making money off of right now, Microsoft's making money off of right now, you know, kids just buying Roblox coins or whatever the hell it is in Roblox, spending money on Roblox, spending money on Fortnite, spending money on Call of Duty. Are any of those people gonna see that Halo was canceled and be like, oh no, I guess I should stop playing? No, it has no effect on that. Matter of fact, if Microsoft just canceled Halo, you'd get a sizable portion of the Halo community that would just like cheer it on. Let's be real. I don't know how many people, but a lot of people would be like, good, I'm glad like Now sell the IP off. Now, I won't lie, I don't know if I would disagree necessarily with that. There's other people who be like, no, they won't kill off Halo because they can put... No, bro, they're going to put Halo on PlayStation, bro. It's going to make so much money and all that. Of course, if they can get Halo into PlayStation, that will increase the amount of money they can make. But here's the problem. It's just a numbers thing. If something happened right now, so we know they're working on the CE remake and Halo 7, right? If Halo Studios came out right now, and they go, I'm just making it up, but they go knock on Phil Spencer's door and they're like, listen, Phil, we tried to switch to Unreal. We're kind of switched, but things are a little, things aren't going the way we thought they were going to go. And we're going to need another 2 to 3 years and like another $200 million to develop these games. Tell me that's not a possible thing, okay? What are the odds that Halo Studios is going to get, the C remake and Halo 7, make them in Unreal, everything's going to go smoothly. There's not going to be no problems, and they're not going to need a delay or anything at all. What are the odds of that? Just take a guess. You see why I'm getting worried? This studio consistently has had problems. And on top of that, what was it, like 2 years ago now or so? The whole studio was gutted. So they got gutted, and now they got to add and hire new people back. Everybody in the game industry knows about the issues about Halo. So it's like the top talent is not going to work on Halo, right? Like they could get a job and work on Fortnite or just anything else. Like who wants to deal with such a, perceived toxic, IP in studio? So they have to be having trouble acquiring talent. So what are the odds that you take 343, you got 343, but you still have a lot of the same people are there. People are like, oh, it's a new studio. I've been over this already. Pierre Hintz, who's leading Halo Studios right now, he was put in charge of Halo Infinite multiplayer when they got rid of Chris Lee and delayed Halo Infinite in 2020. He was in charge. He was the guy in charge of Halo Infinite multiplayer a full year before it came out. And that Project Foundry video also featured other management level people who are still there. So don't be like, oh, it's a whole new studio. It's not a new studio. So what are the odds that you got the studio, you still have some of the people there, right? And then they got to make Halo in Unreal Engine. They got to remake Halo in a totally new engine, okay? And it has to go like smoothly, no problems, no delays or anything. Dude, like major games like Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar, from very like seasoned top developers, they have to delay their games. So what are the odds Halo's not gonna be delayed? Like, come on. Is that why Phil Spencer recently, he said, oh, a major IP's returning next year? Is that why he didn't say Halo by word, by name? Because he knows in the back of his head, well, and let me not hype people up too much, right? Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Everybody's like, well, why didn't Phil Spencer say Halo? Think about it from everything I've said so far in this video. If you're Phil Spencer and you already know, Microsoft just wants to invest in AI, okay? You know what studio you're dealing with here. Why get people too excited when you know this thing could be delayed very easily? And maybe Phil doesn't want to, kill off Halo, but he knows if Halo Studio comes to him, they're like, oh, bro, we're going to need like 2 more years. He knows they come to him and say that, it's over. It's over. Put that, approach it from that mindset, and it makes complete sense why he has not mentioned the CE remake. Now, it could be wrong. Could be they're just holding it for this grand surprise, and Halo's just gonna come back, and everything's gonna be great, right? Like, you see, some of you guys on Hopium think that's gonna happen, and I'm like, I'm not on Hopium anymore. Sorry, I don't see that. I see the other thing as more likely. Again, this whole video, by the way, if you haven't noticed, is just a complete theory. I don't know if I'm going to be right, but we'll see. Now, I just think that's the environment right now. If Halo Studios needs to delay or anything goes wrong, I think there's a good chance Microsoft will just be like, all right, we're cutting our losses, done. Halo, think about this. I know this is our oldest franchise, but this shit has been a problem for over a decade now, right? Like if Halo Studios needs more time on the CE remake, or Halo 7 needs more money, or something major goes wrong, there's no way in this climate. I just feel like Microsoft will kill it. They'll just be like, that's it. We tried. Like this IP has been a problem for too long. We're done. We're killing it. It's done. Cancel them. Close the studio. That's it. Tell me I'm wrong, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, where am I wrong? Now, the Doomium's about to get deeper, okay? So let's say everything is... So the next stuff I'm going to say, right? Let's say Halo Studios is killing it right now, okay? Let's say they're killing it right now and everything is perfect, everything's going great. Whatever they reveal in October, dude, if it is not great and doesn't get like a good response from people, we could have another Halo Infinite situation, okay, where people react to what is revealed and the reaction is so negative that like they're forced to just totally reevaluate and delay the game and like redo, like, oh god, this is why I'm like, we're cooked, we're so cooked. What are the odds that whatever they show in October is gonna just be is gonna be a banger? You know, if they show off the CE remake, what are the odds that the CE remake is a banger and not like scuffed in some major way that causes them to have to delay? Oh god. Oh, and even if it's not in October, right? Like maybe October's not that big of a reveal. It could, you know, this could come like next year when they do a bigger reveal. Everything I'm saying is the same. Now, if you didn't know, I didn't make a video on this because I don't know. The evidence is a little flimsy, but there was a report from Windows Central, which tends to be like pretty on point. And during this recent round of layoffs, they talked to some people that got fired from Halo Studios. Halo Studios only lost like 5 or 6 people or something like that, which is kind of crazy because they already got gutted before they created Halo Studios 343. But anyway, at least one or more of these like employees that got laid off are basically saying things things are not going well. They're saying there's tension at the studio. Nobody's happy with the game. Nobody's happy with the project. They're saying it's turmoil. And people are already on copium. They're like, no, everything is fine. But it's like, why would we be surprised to hear the development's not going well? Like why would you be surprised by that? Why would you doubt that? Again, like, I didn't make a video on it because I feel like there wasn't enough like meat on the bone, you know? But so far, all we've heard recently is that things are not going well. This shit is cooked. This is totally done. Halo is cooked, bro. This is it. We're not. Oh, imagine I'm the first on this prediction too. Imagine there's not even gonna be another Halo game. Okay, what if without knowing anything else, tell me honestly, if you've been following this franchise since the beginning like I have, what is more likely? Just think about it. Which one of these two things are more likely? Okay. Halo Studios, you can't even say it sounds so fake. Halo Studios makes like an incredible CE remake. It's a banger. Comes out, everybody loves it. There's no problems. There's no delay. There's nothing. It just comes out on time. It's a banger and love it. Or they tried to switch to Unreal Engine. Things did not go well. The development just it's taking way longer than they thought it would. It's costing way more. And now Microsoft is just like, let's just kill that. Which one of the, like, if you had to bet money, which one would you choose? You know, if you had to bet money. Now, it's a little unfair because you could have a middle of the ground approach, right? Like, they make the CE remake and it's just like, I don't know, they just push it out. It's like, all right, it's not a big deal. It's not great. It's not bad. Kind of middle of the road, you know. I'm just saying, between those two scenarios, it's pretty clear. And here's the thing. So far, the evidence we have, the reporting we have, is that the Doomium path is the one. That's all we have so far. It's flimsy evidence so far, but that is the one. Oh god. All right. Now we're gonna super nerd out, okay? This is where we go deeper into the Doomium. So here's what I think, honestly. I really think this. Whatever they show in October and on, the problem is we don't know how big this October reveal is gonna be. It could be smaller and just like a tease, right? Like the Project Foundry video. If October is just like a small tease, then Halo at that time is fine. Because when you get a small tease, like if we don't get like a substantial gameplay reveal, reveal, you know, or just something like really significant, if it's like very abstract and just more of like an overview, nobody's really gonna have a bad reaction to that, right? Like if it's just like kind of like a reveal trailer, you know, like that's probably okay. So we might make it through October, but still everything I'm saying in this will remain the same regardless. Okay, so here's why I'm worried, right? When they finally give us a substantial reveal, I feel like if the reaction is negative, that's it for Halo. Because if the reaction is too negative, they're gonna have to change up the dev, and then it's gonna run the costs up, and then I think Microsoft will just kill it, okay? And it'll just rhyme with Halo Infinite. They'll be like, no, we've seen this again. Like we did this with Halo Infinite. We revealed it. The reaction was negative. We gave you a year, and it came out, and it was still a problem. So no, that's it. We're killing Halo. Now, why am I worried about the CE remake? Okay, I really nerded out on this. And what it comes down to, and now we're about to go deep. This is why this video is gonna be long. We're practically only halfway done. I had to take a sip of coffee just to do this next section. Okay, the issue I have is it is literally impossible for the CE remake to come anywhere near the original. That's a bold statement, but I put a lot of thought into this. Like, I played the Dead Space remake and I loved it. And there's a lot of other games that get remade, okay? And they come out awesome. Halo CE is one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, just do like an awesome remake and people will love it. It's one of those things that's like, oh yeah, that sounds great on paper, but when you start to look into it, and I did say this in another video, but we're gonna go deeper into it. Halo CE really was like a time and place thing that is just not replicable. Like, Halo's my favorite franchise, but even I will admit, like, Halo Combat Evolved in 2025, by 2025 standards, it hasn't really aged all that well. The multiplayer is not that great, okay? And I'm someone who loves to land like CE, okay? I'm trying to approach it as like, you know, I don't know, a relatively new gamer in 2025 who has never played Halo. If they played Combat Evolved, I feel like they would not like the multiplayer at all. And even the campaign, I feel like most people would find it repetitive. A lot of the levels like really slow, you know? And most importantly, there's so much magic about Combat Evolved that someone playing it like for the first time in 2025, they just don't get to experience it at all. Now, I took notes on this because it's, you know, it's very detailed. And I wanted to nerd out. So these are in no particular order, but they will scale up a bit. Now we're going to do story time. And for people who weren't around when Combat Evolved came out, I feel like this might be fun for you to listen to as well. So when Combat Evolved came out in 2001, I had already been playing shooter games, but on PC. I had an IBM that my father had bought. I don't know why, but for some reason, when I was growing up, my father really stayed on top of like the computer tech. Like, he loved getting like the latest computer tech. But that changed at some point because like now to this day, he's like a very stereotypical boomer. Unfortunately, when it comes to tech, he still has like a very old computer, old everything. But for some reason, when I was growing up, he was like super on top of like the latest computer tech. So we had an IBM AptivaWare. Back then, that was a hot computer. I remember my friends up the street had some kind of Apple computer or a Mac or something, and that was like a really nice computer, you know, back then. But the IBM was actually better than Apple at that time. I don't even know what Apple they had actually, or Mac. But even they would come over and see the IBM, and we would joke that IBM stood for I Beat Macintosh. Anyway, this computer was powerful for the time, so I played a lot of Heavy Gear, which is one of my favorite games ever. A lot of you listening probably have no idea what Heavy Gear is, even if you are a seasoned Halo bro like me. I played a lot of Mech Warrior. Love those games. But the point is these games, in particular Heavy Gear, they all came with a manual. Heavy Gear in particular is a very unique old game in that the manual for that game was like quite literally like a little short book. It was like a book. Like, it explained everything about the game. It's basically like it's like a cross between Heavy Gear. If you didn't know, it's kind of a cross between, imagine like Mech Warrior and Gundam kind of mixed. The game had a ton of lore, and the booklet had all the lore. Like, basically the second half of the book was just lore. In the first half, it explained all the gears. It's called Heavy Gear. So you had the gears and explained all the gears, all the different types, all the weapons, and all the different types of ways you could customize them. It explained everything about the game. This is how games used to be. You would get a manual with it, and the manual would explain like most of the game to you. So it's like if you didn't want spoilers, it was like, don't look at the manual. Everybody knew this back then. You get a game, you look at the manual, but you don't want to look too much, you know? But you can look in there and it'll show you like a lot. Like it'll show you a lot of it's like trailers nowadays. You know how trailers nowadays show you like almost the entire movie. You don't even have to go watch the movie. That's almost like how game manuals were back in the day. Now with Combat Evolved, it also came with a nice manual. It came with a full color little booklet, and like every other game that I played back then, and like everybody else, you got the manual, and it was almost like you checked out the manual before you even played. And when you played video games, usually it was a little more limited on time, maybe too. Your parents wouldn't let you play like that much because a lot of us, you know, when you went to play, you had to hog up the family room TV, right? So you were limited on how much you could play. It's not like nowadays where you can just play on your phone, or everybody has like a computer or a TV in their room. It wasn't like that back then in 2001. So like with Combat Evolved, you might have only had time to play 1 or 2 levels. So you did what a lot of other kids do. You take the manual to school. And then at lunch, you're going through the booklet and you're reading everything. Yeah, it spoils some stuff. You're like, oh my God, hunters, like, what is this stuff? You're reading everything because you just can't wait to get home and play the game, right? I don't think my experience on this is unique. Like, I think a lot of people did this back then. The manual was like a big thing. Like you ask anybody who's like around the age of 30 and up, ask them about the game manual on a game and they'd be like, oh yeah, like most people I think checked out the manual and they would say that they missed them. Now the manual for Combat Evolved was extra special, honestly. I remember it because you gotta put Combat Evolved in the context of the time. Most people at that point, like I had already been playing PC, like more mature. Heavy Gear was a more mature shooter game. Mech Warrior was a little bit of a more mature shooter game. Combat Evolved was like a lot of people's most like mature game they had played up until that point, especially a shooter, especially because it was like one of the first shooters ever on a console. So just the fact that you're going to play a shooter game on your Xbox was crazy. And then you open the manual and the manual is like insane. It's like, oh my God, these are like, wait, this is what I'm going to fight against? Like these all these different aliens? This is crazy. Like what the hell are these things? It was a little like, whoa, this is like crazy sci-fi. Alien and Predator were very popular around this time, okay? So a lot of like, generally speaking, younger boys like myself, like you love those franchises. So being able to basically play a video game where you're gonna have that kind of experience was like, oh my God. Like it was one thing watching the movies, because when you're young, like those movies were like kind of scary. Like the aliens are scary. Alien was scary. So it's like playing Halo was like, oh my God, like it's gonna be even more visceral experience. I gotta fight these aliens, and you're reading the booklet at school, and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be crazy. So already the booklet for Combat Evolved was, you already knew it was special. It was already special. That's a feeling you can't see where I'm going with this. Everybody, I'm sure you guys can see where I'm going with this. Already, it's a unique experience. Now, what makes it even more special is anybody who had the booklet for Combat Evolved, maybe some of you listening, you don't even have a physical Combat Evolved, so you don't know. The booklet did not have the flood in it, okay? This is huge. This, like, that sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but the idea that you would have a game, in 2001 terms, the idea that you would have a game and you would open the manual, it's very detailed, it tells you everything about the game, like all the other games you ever played. The idea that there was this entire enemy faction in the game, but it's not mentioned in the booklet anywhere is... I'm getting chills even describing it right now. And I feel bad for anybody who didn't get to experience that. That is magic that is not replicable in 2025. Okay? And not just doing a Combat Evolved remake, but just like in video games in general. You can't get that, like really that level of surprise. Like there's just never, it's just like a one-time thing. You're playing the game, okay? You're increasingly, as you move through the missions, you're on Silent Cartographer. Oh shit, the hunters. Yeah, I read about these, right? Like you're playing through the game and you're just learning all the enemies that you read about in the booklet. You're playing the game and then all of a sudden you get hit with the flood and this whole new enemy just appears on the screen. It wasn't just like a reveal in the game, like when you're playing the game and then, you know, they show off the flood for the first time in 343 Guilty Spark. Like that was already a shock. But for people like me, and I think there was a lot of us who read the booklet, it was like a triple shock. It was like, wait, this isn't in the manual. What do you mean? There's more alien? And as you encounter more of the flood forms, the idea that this game had an entire enemy faction in it that's not even in the booklet was just like magic. You cannot remake that type of feeling, okay, with a remake. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible. Even for people who've never played Halo, revealing the Flood, it's just not going to be the same in 2025 terms. And think about it realistically, okay? CE Remake should have a Flood reveal in it if it's, faithful to the original. How many people in 2025 are going to play this CE Remake? Maybe they're playing on PlayStation, they've never played Halo. How many of these people are not going to have that spoiled for them in somehow, some way? I think it's almost impossible, because who is going to just be like, oh yeah, there's a CE Remake now, let me just try that. No. They're going to hear about it on YouTube. They're going to hear about it on social media. They're going to hear about it on TikTok. And the way people are going to hear about it, it'll be through either content creators or just people in general just reacting to the trailers, right? They'll be like, oh my God. And Halo Studios is not going to hold back the Flood. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to show it because they're trying to entice, the OG Halo bros like us. They already showed us in the Project Foundry. They already showed us the Blightlands. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even think the Flood are like, people are literally going to make videos like, oh my God, the Flood is back. This is the greatest thing. So no one's going to be able to experience like the magic of the Flood being revealed. They're not going to have the booklet. Okay. And even if you throw out the whole booklet thing, one of the coolest, biggest reveals for the CE Remake, the Flood, I don't think anybody's going to be able to experience that. So it can't possibly match the original, because let's go back to 2001. Now here's what's crazy. Okay, this is so crazy to even think about. It's hard to even comprehend. But in 2001, dude, the internet was like literally just starting. Okay, like in 2001, you were lucky to have dial-up. Okay, and if you don't know what dial-up is, go look. If you are listening to this and you don't know what dial-up is, go look it up, because your mind would be blown. But also, here's what did not exist whatsoever in 2001. There was no social media. There was no social media at all. MySpace wasn't even created yet. There was no MySpace. There was no social media. There was nothing. There was literally no YouTube. Can you imagine a world with no social media, no YouTube, and people didn't have phones either? So things didn't get spoiled for you. The only way something could get spoiled for you was through word of mouth. But we were all experiencing this game for the first time together. So there was no spoilers back then. Like, can you imagine that? And so most people went into CE like I was saying with the booklet, like most people's best chance of just getting any information outside of the game was through the booklet. That's why people love the booklet. Like, if you took that booklet away, the little manual, you didn't have anything really. Like, you had nothing. There was no internet. There was no social media, no YouTube, nothing. Literally just did not exist. That's why I keep going back to the booklet and all this stuff, because you cannot replicate the state of the world when this game came out, because a lot of that honestly contributed to why it was so fun. If you have the Flood spoiled for you before you play Combat Evolved, it's really like that's like one of the biggest parts of the game, right? So that can't be replicated. Halo was most people's first shooter game they'd ever played on console. I had already played shooter games on PC, but playing on console is just so much better. Graphics are way better. It was so much smoother. The worlds were bigger. In 2025, everybody's played a shooter game. Back then, a game having multiplayer was extremely rare. But just the fact that Combat Evolved, you could play co-op, and you could play local split-screen multiplayer, and you could link consoles together and LAN. That was revolutionary. Co-op was revolutionary. Being able to sit on the couch and play with your friend was insane. That's how I first heard about Halo, and one of the reasons I wanted to get it. I remember getting off the bus from school, and my friend's like, oh, you gotta get Halo. I'm like, what is Halo? Especially because in 2001, most games, like, the name really implied what the game was. Pokemon Red, Sonic Adventure, Mech Warrior, right? Like, the name very strongly hinted at what the game was. Halo was like, what the? Like, I remember when he's told me, oh, you gotta get Halo. I was like, what? Like, I couldn't even comprehend what Halo could be. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, it's just like we're soldiers. I was like, what? And we fight aliens. Whoa, what? Okay, that sounds cool, but like, I still can't imagine this. And I remember him saying, and they have like a Jeep, and one of us can drive and one of us can shoot. And that's what sold me. I was like, what? Being able to play a game with someone and have like freedom of movement. One person can drive, one person can shoot. What are you talking about? What is this wizardry you're speaking of right now? I've never experienced anything like this. Co-op and the multiplayer, it really turned combat evolve into a social experience. Something that up until that point, you generally didn't have with video games. The only time you would really have a social experience with video games was probably like Pokemon. Like you would use the link cable and you would battle each other. But that was always whack because everybody did the unlimited rare candy glitch where you how'd you do that again? You flew to one of those cities. It's so crazy. You had to fly to like this city and then surf on like the side after doing this thing, and then you fight the missing number Pokemon. It was like a glitch, and then you get like unlimited rare candy or whatever you put in like the 5th slot. I don't know. Can't believe that was a real thing. So when you battled people, it was like there's just 2 people battling like level 100 rare candied out Pokemon. Was whack. But Halo was like the first multiplayer type experience with campaign and, you know, PvP. It was like, wow, this is different. It's like this entire game was revolutionary from start to finish. All the way, like I said in the start, all the way down to the damn game manual was like revolutionary. Like everything about it. Nowadays, like just like none with if you subtract all that magic from it, what are you like really left with? Yeah, the story, I think the story's pretty awesome. Like the story's awesome. But in terms of gameplay, it's like you need like how do you remake this and not totally scuff up the original, you know? The original gameplay, what made it awesome. Because you can't even match like most of the magic about it. And it's hard to explain this, but I'm gonna try my best. It's like, don't get me wrong, the story is good as like a movie, but it's like who watches, like how many people really watch, how often do you watch a movie anymore? Like people are, like movie theaters are suffering. Most people just want TV shows. Most people nowadays, the reason TV shows are so much more popular than movies, it seems, is because people want the social experience online. They want to consume media and then be able to like go online and hear someone talk about it, right? I mean, that's a major part of this channel, right? With Halo, it's like you want to be part of a community and interact with a piece of media with other people. It's like nowadays, people are a lot less social, right? Like we stay at home more. We don't really see our friends and family as much for all sorts of reasons. And a lot of the way we socialize is online. We consume a piece of media and then we find a community that likes the stuff that we like, and then you socialize in that community. So it's like when you go to play a game, people definitely prefer, most people nowadays prefer that it's going to be some kind of like social experience. Even with the game like Elden Ring, you know, like a single player game, it's like you play it, but you're still like part of this like community of people. People want their games to be social. And it's like, how do you make Combat Evolved social? I don't know if you can, especially the story. And this is what I mean by it being hard to explain, but I think the best way I can describe it is like everything I just said. People, they want to be part of a community now. Back then in 2001, everybody was more social because there was no social media, there was no internet. So everybody socialized more. Like if you're a kid, you played outside more. Like you went out and played with your friends. You went to the movies. You went out to eat. You went ice skating. You know, you went and you actually did more stuff. On the weekends, you played sports. Like people were outside more. They were more social. And even people who love to socialize, sometimes it's like you need a break, right? And Halo CE was perfect in 2001 because even though, yes, you could do co-op, most of the time you were playing it by yourself. And Halo Combat Evolved is like it's very much a lonely game. You know, when you think about it, like you're just Master Chief by yourself. He rarely ever talks. You talk to Cortana, but you lose her at certain points, right? In the game, and you gotta get her back. You're not even with her at some point, so she's not even talking in your head anymore. Yeah, there's missions with Marines. People love the missions with the Marines, but a lot of Combat Evolved is really like just you, Master Chief. You're just fighting the aliens and wandering through these alien, you know, maps and areas and environments. It's a lonely game, and that worked in 2001 because you didn't need to get any socialization out of your game. You were already socializing a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like an escape. Like, oh, let me play this game, and it's like, damn, yeah, really like on my own, like by myself. I'm just like Master Chief. And that's why like they made it a big deal to never show Master Chief's face, so the player can imagine themselves as Master Chief, right? Like you're supposed to play Combat Evolved and imagine yourself as Master Chief. How many games are like that now? Games nowadays are all about, ooh, you gotta customize the character and make it like a representation of my identity, right? Like that's what people want out of the game. It's a totally different world now than back then. Back then, you did not play Halo because Master Chief is supposed to be like this expression of you. It's like, no, you want to be Master Chief. You want to put yourself inside the armor and be Master Chief. Nowadays, it's all about, nope, I need different skins, different effects, anything that I feel like will express my identity. I want to be able to customize. So it's like a story that really appealed to people, an experience that appealed to people in 2001 doesn't really appeal to people the same way, I don't think, in 2025. Like, how many people want to get a game where it's like a campaign where it's like the entire point is you are just gonna be this character, like you're on your own and there's no like shared experience, there's no customization, it's just you're Master Chief, right? And it's supposed to be like this lonely, dark, depressing story. You know, like even saying it out loud, right? Like it doesn't compute in 2025 terms. So you see why I'm getting worried? Let's tie this all together now. You cannot match Combat Evolved today. Like it is literally impossible, but also down to the story. I feel like what are the odds that the people working on this game understand like what I just described about it basically being like this like lonely game with a story that's like not compatible nowadays? This is where the real Doomium enters into the picture. There's just so many ways you could screw this up. The only thing you could do that would be faithful to the original and not piss off like older fans like me, you remake Combat Evolved, right? Like you basically remake all the missions. It has to be like very close to the original. Like I don't think it should have sprint. Like I don't see why it needs sprint. But if you want to have a little sprint like Halo Infinite style sprint, I guess, like I just don't think it's necessary. You remake the entire original, okay? You can add stuff from the book, The Flood. You can add that kind of stuff in there. It's okay to change it up, right? Like give us more. Like take like Sonic Cartographer. You can scale that mission up a little bit, okay? You can expand it. You can make it longer. That is all okay. Give us more stuff to do. But the storyline must not be touched at all. It must not be touched. There should not be microtransactions. There should not be like clamber, all this modern stuff that it doesn't need. And that's where I get worried. What are the odds that they're not gonna put modern crap into, because basically take this entire video that I just described. What are the odds that the people who are just like working a job, right, and they're just like 2025 brain people, how many people working on this game understand anything I just described? Like they're gonna make simple but massive mistakes, I feel, on this game. Like they're gonna let you customize your like I could see them being like, oh well, we're gonna sell skins and let you customize Master Chief. Like you don't have to play as Master Chief, you could just play as your own Spartan. It's like no. That's not you're breaking the soul of the game. Is that a deal breaker? No, but it's like you're why are you changing you don't understand the fundamental core of this game is that you are supposed to become Master Chief, an emotionless killing machine robot. There is no I want to play. No, you're supposed to enjoy the story and be Master Chief. That's it. There is no I want to play as my own like Spartan with cat ears. No, you could screw up the art style in the mood, right? If it's too bright, like they did with Halo CE Anniversary. But the big thing is going to be the story. Again, think about Combat Evolved, the story. Master Chief is an emotionless killing machine. And let's be real. I'm sure there were women who enjoyed Combat Evolved in 2001. But I'm going to go ahead and take a lucky guess that probably something like 95%, if not more, of the fans who fell in love with Combat Evolved were dudes. It is very much a dude game because it was very heavily inspired by dude franchises of the time, like Alien and Predator. I'm not sure how many girls were going to see Alien and Predator in 2001. See, the world today is different, where it's like everybody likes everything, and you know, like nothing is for this one person, right? Well, back then it was like, I can't imagine a girl going to watch Predator in 2000, around 2001, whenever it came out, or Alien. Like those not the movies they like. Nowadays you'll probably find a ton, but back then it's different. So it's like 2001 Combat Evolved is very much like a dude thing. I mean, that's the whole point of Cortana. Cortana's like your AI girlfriend in your head. It sounds stupid and cringy, but that's what they thought nerds would like in 2001, and that's what we liked. It's like, if you've been paying attention now, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, they have the AI girlfriends you can have now. People like them. It's sad that we've gotten to this state in society where, like, if you just say something is for dudes or for women, like, that's like a problem. Like, why does it have to be an issue? Like, yeah, some stuff is really mainly for dudes, some stuff is mainly for women. Like, what's the issue with that? Doesn't mean you can't enjoy each one around, but just saying, you don't have to be like, well, no, anybody could like this. No. Look at the crowd, like in a UFC match. Like, how many women are there that want to see guys beat the crap out of each other and make themselves bloody? Like, it's not as many as dudes. It's like a dude thing. So how do you remake Combat Evolved in 2025 and make it faithful to the original, which means you have to make a dude game? Like, are they going to do that? What's Cortana going to look like? Are they going to shoehorn in like other characters? Are they just going to add new characters in? Like, you tell me, what are the odds that they're going to not soften this shit up and make it more palatable in their minds to people in 2025? I feel like there's no way Microsoft's putting out a dude game in 2025. I don't see it. And what's that gonna do? That's just gonna awaken all the longtime Halo fans who are gonna be like, nah, you could practically make a video right now. You could make a reaction to the C remake, right? You can make it right now. You can make a video for a certain type of person. You can make it right now. Ready? Here's the title of the video. The Halo C remake reveal is woke. They have gone woke. And you could just like rant about how it's woke and just talk about in like general terms. And that video, and then you can make it right now, just leave it like unlisted. And then the second they show off C, just publish it. And there's a lot of people who click on that video and will agree with everything in there without, even though it was made well before it was revealed. Like, it doesn't even matter what you think about, like, you know, people who are anti-woke and stuff. It doesn't, we're talking about, what is the reaction going to be? What is the product likely to be? And what is the reaction likely to be? I'm saying that when you really think about it, so I think I've established in this video, you cannot remake CE. It cannot match the original. Like, there's just no way. It can't even really come close, okay? So there's that. And then in 2025, how are you gonna remake the game and not like scuff it up? You know, like, in particular, the story. They're not gonna make this like lonely dude's game, because that's really what Combat Evolved is. 2001 Combat Evolved is a lonely dude game. It's a lonely game made for dudes. Are they really gonna make that in 2025? I don't see it. They're gonna have to. It's gonna be T for teen. It's gonna have microtransactions. It's gonna be scuffed in some way. It just is. And therefore, thus, I think it's likely when we get a substantial reveal of the C remake, there's gonna be a huge backlash. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Like, what are the odds there's not gonna be a backlash? They're gonna make some massive mistake, because whoever's working on this game, I just get the feeling that they don't understand all this stuff. And, you know, I'm not saying like, it sucks, because I'm not saying that the people working on this game are like incompetent, right? Like, everything I just described here, all this like super nerdy stuff, all these reasons, like even right down to the booklet, like, is some person who's working on this game now, are they really thinking about this stuff? Do they even have what are the odds they even have that context? You know, like, what would they be, a super fan, are they a super mega Halo fan like me who just thinks about nonstop? No, probably not. It's just like a job for them. Maybe they kind of like Halo, so you can't expect them to know all this stuff. But if you don't know all this stuff, you're not gonna make the right choices when you're remaking this thing, okay? It really comes down to the leadership, if they understand this stuff. And based off of the track record of the past 10 years of 343 Microsoft Halo games, no, there's no one in charge who's like as much of a super fan as someone like me is, or someone like you listening. If you've listened this far, you're probably a super fan. And so tell me we're not cooked. Tell me we're not cooked. How are we not cooked? Explain, bro. How are we not cooked? How are they gonna get this right? How are they gonna get the C remake right? It's not as simple as, oh, just remake it. No, it's not that easy. It's not easy to remake this game. This is a unique game. See, something like Dead Space, okay? It's just a horror game. It just has to look good and scare the shit out of you and have good gameplay. It's not as deep. It's not as much of a cultural milestone as CE is. It's not as much as a lonely dude game, right? It's just different. It's not the same thing. It is not easy to remake this. Like it should be easy, but for a company like Microsoft, it's like impossible. Like the reality. Okay, the best way to remake CE in 2025. Ready? I'm gonna kind of end the video on this, so we can end on a laugh. But I think you will agree this is true. So you could just remake it, right? Like I said before. Okay, but if you wanted it to be a banger that like everybody wants to play. In 2025 terms, this is just the way the world is. Sorry. So first of all, it needs to be extremely crude and mature, right? Like it needs to be crazy. You need to have the characters screaming. Like the Marines need to be like they need to sound like people who leave comments on YouTube. They need to be like these unhinged psychopath like streamers that people love. Like say the craziest shit. Like the Marines need to be unhinged. They need to be insane. You need the Marines like killing an elite, right? Teabagging it, saying like insane stuff to the point that people want to clip it and put it on social media, right? Like that's the level of craziness the Marines in this game need to be. If you want this to be a banger, okay, you need tons of gore. It needs to be so gory. Like you shoot the aliens in like HD. Like it needs to be so gory that like you can't put the content on YouTube. Like you're not even allowed. And it gets like kind of like blocked on like TikTok, you know, and stuff like that. That way people like become more interested in it. Whatever that effect is. I've been ranting for over an hour, but you guys know the effect when you try to block something and then like people just want to see it even more. It needs to be like that. It needs to be something that you can only see on X, on Twitter, like totally uncensored. That way people are like, yo, this game's crazy. I want to go play this. It's just crazy. So the Marines are crazy. You got the gore, and then you just make Cortana goon fuel. There you go. Halo C remake, banger. It'll go in crazy vibe. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And this is one of the reasons Microsoft should just get rid of the Halo IP, right? Because they can't make that game. What I just described will be a banger. It will be a banger. It will go insane. People will be like, nah, this is game of the year. But Microsoft can't make that. An independent studio, not part of Microsoft, they could make it. Like you couldn't, there's nothing legal that's stopping you from making a game like that. It's just Microsoft. So I don't know, guys. I feel so much better after getting this rant off my chest. I really do. I really do. I am not saying with 100% certainty that Halo's cooked. It's just like when I work through it, I'm like, it's cooked. I think it's probably cooked. But we shall see. I certainly hope I'm wrong, but I'm not on hopium that I'm not. All right, that's all I got for now, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.